Hey everybody, welcome to Rewards Canada's This Week in Rewards for the week of October 28th to November 3rd, 2023. Hope everybody's had a great week and a great day, and we'll get right into our weekly dose of loyalty rewards, travel, and credit card happenings in Canada. Before we do though, as always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave us a comment, if you have any questions or concerns or just even to say hi. Be sure to do that below in the comment section, and then hit that notification button so that you are notified when we do put up new videos on the Rewards Canada channel and anything as well for our podcast. So right away, the biggest thing this week, which I'm sure you guys have seen on the site, or if you haven't yet, is WestJet's biggest ever bonus on the WestJet RBC World Elite Mastercard. Yes, on November 1st, they came out with a new offer of up to 700 bonus WestJet dollars. This is the biggest ever seen on the card in terms of WestJet dollars. Value-wise, it's pretty close or equivalent to some of the past offers where they've had like $450 with first year free and a $0 companion fare. But in this case, it's just a straight 700 WestJet dollars that you can earn when you meet the different requirements of it, which, speaking of those requirements, it's $300 that you earn on your first purchase with the card. So you go out and spend $1 at a store and you're going to get 300 WestJet dollars. And then if you spend $5,000 on the card within the first 3 months of having it, you'll get an additional $300. So that's going to put you up to 600 WestJet dollars. And then they're giving, for the first time ever, an anniversary bonus where you're going to earn 100 WestJet dollars on your card's anniversary. Yeah, so this is a big bonus, 700 WestJet dollars. If you're not too familiar with the program, that they're dollars. That's how it works. Works as a discount towards your WestJet flight. So you can use on multiple flights, one flight, you name it, before any taxes and fees. You basically use it to get a discount on your flight. So yeah, that's a big amount of dollars that you can use. You can use them towards WestJet vacations as well. So there's a lot of these you can use it if you're a WestJet traveler. Like I said, biggest bonus. What else can I say? I mean, it's huge value. I mean, it's a good way to get some travel on the cheap with this offer. I'm kind of adjusting my camera here. Sorry, guys. I'm out of the way where I'm not being blocked by the graphics here. If you're listening on the podcast, you won't see this, but those of you on YouTube will see it. Yeah. So I mean, this is in addition to the companion voucher that you get. And in my discussions with WestJet, I spoke with them earlier this week. They did a survey, or not a survey, but they looked at their data for 2022 across all the companion vouchers that were redeemed. The average value that a WestJet cardholder got was $500. So that's pretty big, like $500. And that's not just taking a couple people. They looked at from January 1st to December 31st, 2022 at all the companion vouchers redeemed, and the average was $500. So big value just from the voucher itself. So you're going to get that. You're going to get 700 WestJet dollars. And then, of course, you get the first check bag free on WestJet flights with this card for you and up to 8 people on the same reservation. So a lot of value in this card in terms of traveling with a WestJet. And now even with, they've integrated Swoop, and they're working on Sunwing. So there's a lot of different places that you're going to be able to use your WestJet dollars or potentially use your WestJet dollars. So this is going to be big. Just a big discount. Very easy, very simple, not much to it. We value the overall value of the $700 at $462 because you pay your annual fee in the first year of $119. Second year, you have to pay $119 again to get that $100 anniversary bonus. But that's just at a baseline. I mean, for the longest time, I've always said you shouldn't take into account the annual fee when you look at your welcome bonus. So, because of all the additional benefits, right? I've always said you're paying an annual fee on a card, not for the rewards, but for what you get extra. Now, if you're only in it for the rewards, then yeah, you should take it into account. But if you take things into account like your first check bag free, insurance coverage, lounge access, all these different things, that's what you're paying your annual fee for. So, I mean, for some of you, the 700 WestJet dollars is going to be 700 WestJet dollars. But if you're a baseline math person, $462 is your value. And before we go on to the next thing, like I said, I spoke with WestJet earlier this week, and there's some good news coming out of them where there's going to be some enhancements, or should I say, additional options that you're going to have coming to the WestJet cards in the near future. I can't disclose, divulge what it is, But it's good news. It's additional flexibility with the card, which is going to be great. So as soon as we're allowed to tell you guys, we will. So be sure you stay tuned to the RWRDS Canada blog, or probably we'll have it in the This Week in Rewards, and so on and so forth. Just be sure you follow us, and as soon as we're allowed to divulge that news, we will let you know. So that's it. That was the biggest thing this week, was the new welcome bonus on the WestJet card, which of course is 700 WestJet dollars. Next up this week, we have Marriott Bonvoy. They're making some changes to the Suite Night Awards. Sorry, kind of lost my train of thought there. Nothing too major here. So this is for elite members who have stayed at least 50 nights or more. You get to pick these Suite Night Awards, which are now going to be called Nightly Upgrade Awards. So just a name change that better suits what this award is for, because it's going to be not just suites you can upgrade to, you can upgrade to premium rooms and that, and it is on a nightly basis, so that's why it's nightly. The other things they've changed to it, they've added more brands like Ritz-Carlton in addition, and 3 other brands that you can use these at, so that's great news. The only bad news with it is they've shortened the confirmation window from 5 days to 3 days. So to confirm your upgrade, you only get 3 days before, which to me kind of falls in line with a lot of the cancellation policies with a lot of Marriott hotels, especially the higher end ones, or the ones that are more desirable. A lot of them have 72-hour cancellation policies. So they're almost, to me, it almost seems like this was done on purpose, in a way that you're not going to cancel your stay and go to a different hotel and try and use your upgrade award. Because before it was 5 days out. So you could see if they didn't confirm, it's like, well, I'm going to switch to this hotel because I might have a better chance of using my upgrade reward. That's just me thinking. I could be totally wrong, but it kind of seems, it works out. 3 days that you have to use your upgrade. A lot of hotels are 3 days cancellation policies. So that's perhaps why they did it. But again, that's just me talking, and I guess, thinking of what it was, why they did this. So put the link below. You can check out those changes. Honestly, I think for the most part, this is an upgrade to these awards, because you're going to have more rooms. They said there's more inventory, about 20% more room inventory. The fact that there's more brands like the Ritz-Carlton that you can use of that. So this is good news from Marriott in regards to the Suite Night Rewards. It's just that 3-day confirmation is kind of a so-so thing. Next up, just a quick note on Rogers credit cards. They came out with an offer with the TTC, Toronto Transit. A very similar offer that we saw, I think it was on the Tim Hortons card. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Tim Hortons card offered something similar, in that if you tap to pay with your Rogers card when using a mobile wallet, you can get up to 5 free TTC rides, $3.30 per ride, once per day. You can do it 5 times between now and December 31st. So just a little extra benefit if you have the Rogers card, or if you don't have the Rogers card yet, you can apply for one and get it. And then if you have it before December 31st, you can use it for the TTC. Now remember, the Rogers cards we've covered quite a bit. Pretty decent cashback cards. They're not just for rewards on Rogers. So check out that offer if you do have the card or have been planning to get the card. So what should we cover next? Why don't we cover, ASMALLWORLD. So this is a very kind of specific offer, because it's very expensive, but it can provide a lot of value. We've covered ASMALLWORLD a few times this year. So what this is a membership, a social gathering membership, they call it, that you pay an annual fee for. In this case, it's about $6,800 Canadian, a little bit more, probably about $6,820 or so. And what you do is you get this membership, and they give you a bunch of miles for doing so. Right now it's 10% more miles, so you're going to get 275,000 miles and more miles. So that's Lufthansa's program, Austrian Airlines, Swiss, you name it, and a 15% lower price for it. So this works out to, I don't have it right in front of me, but it was just over 2 cents Canadian per mile. Where this has value is redeeming for things like Lufthansa business class, especially during their mileage bargains, where it's 55,000 miles for a round-trip flight. Which they have out of Canada a lot. So I mean, you can get five round-trip business class flights for that price, for 6,800 Canadian. Considering sometimes one business class flight costs that much, you can see where the value is in this. So I mean, it's a big outlay. The news this month as well, they've changed their coding. So they code now as a travel provider. So if you want to purchase this on a credit card that provides accelerated earn amount on travel rewards. So, something like the American Express Cobalt card, the Platinum card, which they each give like 2 points per dollar on travel. You'd want to use something like that for this purchase. So that's a small world. I'll put the link below. There's a lot more detail in the article. Like I said, it's kind of a very specific offer because it's a big outlay. A good way to get Lufthansa first class though. So think of that too. If you've been considering Lufthansa first class, this might be a cheaper way to do it. Rather than spending 5 figures, you're going to spend 4 figures. So, and you still have some miles left over afterwards. Why don't we go into Lufthansa's partner, Aeroplan? Yeah, so this week they provided some updates to Elite status for 2024. Just some minor things. All good news. Basically, Air Canada Cafe, the complimentary guest access has been expanded. Now you can bring a guest and up to, what was it, five family members or something like that, dependent children, spouse, and all that. So just expanded access to Air Canada Cafes, which is great. When you buy as an Elite member, when you buy flight passes, you'll now receive bonus e-upgrade credits and bonus SQMs instead of just one or the other. So you're getting more value there. And then 50K and higher Elite members can now, they'll receive bonus SQM and SQS instead of electing to receive a lower requalification level. So it kind of works out the same way. So instead of a lower level, they're giving you more Elite status qualifying miles and spend towards your requalification. So that's an option that 50K and up will be able to choose. Where should we go now? Oh yeah, Harry B, who's a long-time Rewards Canada reader and frequent participant on our blog comments, Facebook page, our group page and all that. He came out and asked us about Hilton's expiry, about the expiry of Hilton Honors points. And he asked, if it's true that they do not expire for Canadians. Because what he did is he reached out asking them, do my points expire? And customer service emailed back to them saying that basically they do not. For Canadians, they do not expire. And I thought maybe that was weird because I actually had some orphan points expire earlier this year with Hilton. I know people are like, how'd you let your points expire? But honestly, I'm not going to transfer points over for membership rewards or buy points to strand some orphan points that I'm never going to use. I mean, sometimes you just got to let it go, which I did. But because of that, because he said all Canadians should not have an expire, I reached out to Hilton to find out, well, should I get my points reinstated? So it turns out they did some digging, and Hilton actually has deep down in their rules that points do not expire for Canadians who reside in Ontario. Only Ontario. All other provinces, you can lose your points due to, and it's inactivity, not like a timestamp on your miles or points, sorry, because Hilton Honors are points. It's inactivity, which their rule is 2 years. So if you're inactive for 2 years, you'll lose your points. So all of Canada except for Ontario, if you're not active with Hilton Honors, you will lose your points after 2 years of inactivity. The reason why, obviously, Ontario has their legislation in place for expiring points, which is kind of funny because, I mean, inactivity rules are allowed. It's just timestamp rules, so they I don't think looked into the actual legislation very much, but whatever, we won't tell Hilton, but if they're watching this, they'll probably maybe look into it, so my apologies if they do. But here's the thing, Quebec has the rules too, but they don't have those rules for Quebec. So they should really, if they're doing it for Ontario, they should do it for Quebec. Hilton was actually like the first program that I found that is specific for Ontario. Most programs just either put in rules for all of Canada, if they put in rules, because it's just easier. Why have separate rules for separate provinces? So this was kind of interesting. So now we've learned. So I've updated our guide to expiry in inactivity rules. It's a piece we've had up since 2016, which was kind of triggered by the 2016 Air Miles debacle with their expiring miles. So we've had a feature up on the site, for the past 7 or so years that is continually updated with the rules for Canadian and international loyalty programs. Now, most Canadian programs, of course, are just inactivity rules because of the legislation in Ontario and Quebec. But international programs, some of them do still have time-stamped mileage requirements. So that means, if you earn a mile 3 in, say, I don't know, May of 2023, it'll expire May of 2026, no matter what. It doesn't matter how active you are in the program. So there are 2 types of expiry rules. So check out that feature. We discuss it all. There's even tips and tricks on how to keep your miles from expiring, and don't, but of course, like if you do something like I do, if you have orphan points you're never going to use, sometimes you just got to let them go, which I did. And the last thing we're going to cover this week is, something from Air Miles. So this was actually the president of Air Miles posted this. This was back just earlier this week. He posted this on LinkedIn that they are testing the transfers of cash and Dream Miles, and it's working out in their systems. I guess they're doing it internally, and they said that it will be coming soon. So it won't be too much longer before we see this. So yeah, so there is the transfer option will be coming before we know it in Air Miles. So I mean, we've discussed this before. It's not, the news has been out there now for probably almost a month now that they are working on this. In my discussions, we talked with them. They said, yeah, so stage one of this is that they will allow transfers between the two. And stage two is that sometime in 2024, the miles will be all combined into one. There won't be Dream Miles, there won't be Cash Miles. It'll just be Air Miles, just like back in the old days. So that's good news from Air Miles. And that's everything for this week. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, leave us a comment, and as always, have yourselves a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.